Welcome to Pokemon Summit, the game where I'm going to be playing the Pokemon Black and White 2 tournament against gym leaders all around the world. And we start by receiving a letter from our grandparents saying that they have brought me a premium ticket to the Pokemon Summit tournament for our birthday. Reminiscing about when we was younger, watching it on TV and wishing one day that I could be on that stage. It's finally my time to shine. We rushed over to the ferry, and because it was a premium ticket, we skipped the line. The life of the rich, hey? We are also given £3,000 to start off in the tournament. So in this game, Pokemon can be obtained through vending machines with money earned from battling the trainers in the arena. They will also come with a moveset and be at level 50 already. There are several other things in this game, so let's jump straight into Pokemon Summit. After finally making it to the summit, they're going to ask us our name, and I'm going to be called Resign through the entire playthrough as usual. So we're going to get a tour of the place. This is the challenge in the arcade. This is where we can learn moves and buy some items for our Pokemon. And this is where we can train up our Pokemon and change their stats, like their abilities and natures. Here is the vending machines which allow us to purchase some random Pokemon to put into our team. And we're able to access the vending machine now. We're given the 3 elemental monkeys to start off our journey. Do I want them in my team? Hell to the no. Let's go to the vending machine and see what we can get for 800. Let's go to the one on the left. I feel more lucky with that one. What Pokemon are we going to get? And we're starting off with a Leafeon, which could be incredibly strong depending on the moveset I get. Let's add Leafeon straight into our party. Replace Simsage because who needs 2 grass types? Hell to the no one. So let's go and purchase another one, and we get Kabutops. We are incredibly powerful at this point in time, and I have no worries about challenging anyone in the world. So we have to save after every single one, and we get Palapa, which is kind of broken. I've got a Swift Swimmer, I've got a Drizzle, I've already got an OP team. So I'm gonna decide to not spend any more money because I ain't got none. Grandparents wasn't rich enough to give me unlimited money, unfortunately. And let's go and explore the summit by starting and talking to the challenge where we'll be facing the Kanto team bracket. Let's jump straight into Kanto with our first challenger, Sabrina. Well, I guess we're the challenger in this scenario as we're not playing as the gym leader. Sabrina, the psychic type from Gen 1, could pose a big threat to us. Hypno gets sent out and we've got Leafeon. The moveset Leafeon has I'm quite happy with, and I'm going to start off with Knockoff as it's super effective. I realise Hypno don't do too much. Go in for the Swords Dance and Knockoff to finish off Hypno. Now I know Hypno is quite strong, and we take out the Slowking with a single Leaf Blade as we have the Sword Dance +1 attack. Alakazam comes out taking out Leafeon. We now have to resort to our other team members. Palapa comes out and activates Drizzle, which I know I can U-turn straight into Kabutops as U-turn super effective. Kabutops will outspeed and I will be able to take out Sabrina on my first attempt with Liquidation, getting that stab and taking out Alakazam. Moving on to the next gym leader who could be totally random, we have to fight Erica. Now I know my team isn't very strong against Erica. Erica is the grass type gym leader from Gen 1, sending out bug types, which really threw me off quite a bit. I thought Leafeon might be able to survive, but I don't think it's going to happen. I instantly send out Palapa here to get off that Drizzle and see what I can do. I don't actually have any flying type moves other than Roost and Defog, but they're not going to benefit me here. So I keep on spamming Scald and U-turn so that I can get in and out of battle and do a little bit of damage, hopefully get off a burn, which don't happen. So Kabutops comes out and I decide to Leech Life Parasect, and Effect Spore put us to sleep. So we're already running down on there, and Vileplume comes in with Petal Dance. I do take advantage of that and send out Leafeon as I know Petal Dance isn't going to be able to do too much and get off a Sword Dance. Little did I realize Vileplume is not going to be affected one bit by confusion and Sludge Waves Leafeon to death. It's time for Pelipper to come out. I get off a roost as I want to get that health up. Sludge Wave comes out and instantly decreases my health even more. I'm really hoping for a confusion attack to hurt Vileplume, but that just didn't happen. So we have lost our first battle, and that was against Erica from the Gen 1 challenges. We are now going to go and redeem a new Pokemon, and we get Center Scorch. What luck is that on our team to get a fire type Pokemon, which is what I need. So I'm going to switch out Pelipper, which is that going to benefit me later on in the game? We will have to see. But Center Scorch has replaced Pelipper at this current point in time, allowing me to finally challenge again. So we do fight Sabrina, but that battle goes the same as it did the previous time, and we take out Sabrina. We then move on to Erica. Erica, the Pokemon trainer who has defeated me in the past. Will I avenge myself and will I take out Erica? Let's see in this battle. So Leafeon instantly comes out once again. Although I'm starting off a bit stronger this time. I'm getting off a knockoff, I get off 2 knockoffs and almost take out Parasect. Not quite, but almost. I'm going to send out Kabutops to finish off with a Leech Life, taking Parasect out. I then have to fight a Vileplume. I'm going to go in for some more Leech Lives, hopefully get some damage off, but Petal Dance comes out once again to take Kabutops out. It's time for Center Scorch to come on, and Fire Lash instantly demolishes Vileplume, and it's time to take out Tangrowth too with the same move, Fire Lash. Erica has been taken out. It's time to take on the next gym leader, Janine, the poison type gym leader. Am I going to be able to beat the poison type gym leader? Hopefully with the strength of my team. Leafeon gets sent out first and instantly knocked out, unfortunately. I'm going to send Kabutops out as I feel like Liquidation could do quite a bit of damage, and I realise it's not going to get the job done. Stone Edge comes out and almost takes out Weezing, and Weezing just seems to be clicking all the wrong moves against my Kabutops. I proceed to continue using Stone Edge as she sends out a Flying Poison with Crobat, and I can take it out with Stone Edge quite comfortably. Venomoth also comes out, leaves me on 1 HP, and I take Venomoth out. Give me your money. So we move on to the next gym leader, which is Lieutenant Surge, the electric type gym leader. Am I faithful in myself to beat Lieutenant Surge? I believe I can. Let's see if the RNG is on our side. He's instantly going in for some Thunderbolts. I'm going to get 2 Swords Dance off and then Synthesis all the way back up in health. Thunder Wave does get us, unfortunately, and is that going to affect us? Let's hope not. Leafeon's got 2 Swords Dance up and gets affected by Paralysis twice, 3 times, and I proceed to take Raichu out. I'm not scared here. Electivire comes out and takes on Leafeon, but I've got 2 Pokemon, one being Kabutops, one being Center Scorch. Center Scorch comes straight out and goes in for the Fire Lash. I do get paralyzed. Hopefully I'm not affected like I was with Leafeon, and I take out Electivire. That is Gen 1 complete, guys. After beating Gen 1, I did go and get some more Pokemon, one of them being Archeops, and it's time to move on to Gen 2 with Faulkner. Faulkner I'm quite scared of as I've still got Leafeon in my party and I don't know how I'm going to fare against it. I instantly send out Archeops, hopefully getting off some Stone Edges, taking out Pidgeot, and that's what I achieve. Knocked Out also gets taken out and Pelipper comes out. Survives the Stone Edge, takes out my Archeops, and it's time for Pelipper to take out Center Scorch with Scald also. So Faulkner is scary to us. I'm going to go and get some more Pokemon. I'm not happy with how my team's looking at the moment. Let's go see what the randomizer's gonna give us, and hopefully some OP Pokemon. One of them being Swampert, who will be in my team for a very long time, I can confirm. It's time to retake Faulkner on and finally beat you this time. Gen 2 does seem to be quite a hard gen to defeat in this game, although I am going to manage it because I'm not going to give up until I get all the way over to Gen 8 and fight some secret bosses. So Archeops is sent out first this time. I'm going to go in for the Stone Edge, see what my luck's saying, and I one-shot Pidgeot with a critical hit. Luckily, luck's on my side. Noctowl comes out, Stone Edge does miss unfortunately. I'm not too worried here, Archeops tanks and hits, Stone Edge then kills Noctowl with complete ease. No pressure on my side of things. Paluppa comes out and Stone Edge is also gonna one-shot it. I don't know what happened the turn before because I had no luck against Faulkner and Faulkner defeated me before, and give me your money. It's time to move on to the next gym leader, which is Claire. I'm terrified by Claire. Claire is one of the strongest gym leaders of all time. Sending out her dragon types, what am I going to do against them? I'll start with Dual Wing Beat, seeing what I can do, and Hydro Pump takes out Archeops. I'm going to send out Swampert and see what damage I can do with Rock Slide. Rock Slide don't really do too much, and they get the Rain Dance off, and also a Hydro Pump. I do take out Kingdra. Dragonite proceeds to come out. We both miss our first move, and then Outrage attacks. Outrage is going to take out my Swampert and my Centiskorch with complete ease. This Dragonite had no fear at all, going in for another Outrage while confused, and that proceeded to take out Centiskorch. I then try and fight Claire one more time. Claire demolishes me every single time I try and fight her. Claire was terrifying. Kingdra takes out Archeops. I send out Leafeon hoping that I can actually do some damage to this Kingdra, and Draco meteors Leafeon to death. Swampert also gets completely wiped out by Kingdra with ease. Dragonite comes out and finishes Swampert off. We fight Claire one more time with a new team, may I add. A new team with Raichu, thinking I can do some damage, and Kingdra just proceeds to demolish us at all points. What can I do against this Kingdra and Dragonite? I'm not even seeing Claire's third Pokemon. What can we do here? I'm going to go and fight the Battle Arcade, get some money up, as that's where what I need to do. I need to fight in the arcade, I need to get my money up, and I need to get some more Pokemon. Let's open up a new Pokemon now, and we got Hydreigon. We finally got a Dragon type on our team. Hopefully that can defeat Claire. Let's replace Raichu straight away, as Raichu really did absolutely nothing for me. And let's go into the arcade to gain some money. We do fight a few people. This old man had a Swellow and didn't really do too much. I'm going to proceed to take him out with Stone Edge. I put the Citrus Berry on Archeops because the ability, if I go below half health, I do half my damage, which is a real pain in the backside. As you can see, my damage was nowhere near the strength it was before, but I do have Roost on the upside, so I can take Raticate out. Diggersby comes out, and I can't really do too much damage to it with Archeops, so I'm going to proceed to go in for the Stone Edge, miss, and then attack and do nothing. Archeops is down and Swampert comes out to take out the old man. Give me your money, man. So we fight a few more trainers in there and gain some money. Let's go open up some new Pokemon and see what we get. We've got Marowak, which could be used in the team for several opponents and could benefit me quite a bit. Am I going to use it though? Not at this current point in time. And then we get the most important Pokemon, Sunflora, the best Pokemon of all. There's no hesitation there. Now, little did I know I could change my opponents that I fight. So I go to attack Claire one more time, deciding that if I lose to Claire this time, I'm just going to switch opponents and hope for the best that she don't appear to take me out. I do take Kingdra out quite comfortably this time, survive against the Outrage, weaken Dragonite, and Hydreigon does come out. I take out Dragonite with Draco Meteor, and Dragalge comes out. I weaken it with Draco Meteor, but do I have enough strength to take it out with the third one? No, it survives on 1 HP. I totally give up against Claire, so here I'm going to select no, I don't want to fight the same trainers as last time, and we're going to have to fight Chuck instead. Chuck is a big strong fighting type, but Dual Wing Beat does proceed to eliminate his team with rapid speed. Archeops is broken and stays in my team through the entire playthrough. I should have given it a nickname, I haven't yet. Archeops, you really did me a service. Jasmine time, this steel type trainer from Gen 2 who sits on Magnemites, sends out Fortress straight away. Fortress does do a hell of a lot of damage and proceeds to take Archeops out. I then send in Swampert to take out the Fortress. It sets up spikes and toxic spikes and more spikes, so I'm trying not to die with Swampert because I don't really want Hydreigon poisoned or taking damage through spikes. We take out the Steelix and the Skarmory comes out. Rock Slide does next to nothing to it. I liquidation it, lower its defense and hope for the best, but Skarmory does take us out. Luckily Hydreigon isn't affected by the spikes or anything and we take out Jasmine. Give me your money. It's time to fight the hardest gym leader of all in Gen 2. Whitney with Miltank to start off. Miltank with Milk Drink, may I add. Miltank really demolishes all of my Pokemon here. I'm joking. I do survive against Miltank, although I don't take it out with Archeops, which really annoyed me. I do weaken it a little bit, but Archeops just don't have the strength to take it out. Thunder Wave comes out and it's going to proceed to kill Archeops. I'm going to instantly send in Hydreigon and get some big boy Draco Meteoroth to take the Miltank out. I'm going to switch out because I do want that special attack back up. Luckily, Blissey used Teleport into Girafarig, so I'm just going to take the Girafarig out with Liquidation. Liquidation has amazing stab and is one of my favourite moves of all time. Blissey then comes back out and I proceed to take the Blissey out. Taking Whitney out and moving on to Faulkner once again. Luckily we have Archeops, which is just going to Stone Edge everything to death like it did in the previous fights when I had to fight Faulkner before Claire. So I have no fear against Faulkner. Stone Edge doing its job, taking out Noctowl and moving on to Paluppa. I go in for a Dual Wing Beat, which was a total misclick on my behalf. And Swampert takes Paluppa out with Rock Slide, and that is Gen 2 complete. Moving on to Gen 3, which by the way guys I have no knowledge of. I never played the Gen 3 games and I really regret it because some of these gym leaders seemed really fun to fight. I then have the flying type gym leader, which again I've got Archeops with Stone Edge and Dual Wing Beat to take these guys out. Archeops flawlessly takes out the flying type gym leader of Gen 3. Flannery does come out, which I do know that Flannery's a fire type gym leader. But yeah, I do really regret not playing any of their Gen 3 games. It was just before my time essentially. I've played Gen 2, I've played Gen 1, I've played Gen 4 and onwards, every single one other than Gen 3, which I do need to play. So if you guys do want to see me play a Gen 3 game, leave what game you would like me to play down below. We could play Emerald Kaizo or anything like that. It's time for Lisa to come out, one of the twins, I know that, and Lunatone, I don't know why I went in for Earthquake against it, it's not going to do anything. Chimecho comes out using Energy Ball and I take it out with Dual Wing Beat. Stone Edge against Lunatone, weakening it enough to take it out with a Dual Wing Beat, and Gardevoir comes out. Traces my ability, which actually benefits me because after half health it's going to do next to no damage. Liquidation comes out and finishes Gardevoir off. It's time to move on to Brawly, the fighting type gym. Now, he seems really weak to me. Unfortunately, he sends up Breloom. Dual Wing Beat just demolishes his whole team with complete ease. Hitmonchan comes out, uses Thunder Punch, weakens me. Dual Wing Beat don't take it out, but I can just send in Swampert to take out Hitmonchan with complete ease. And that is Gen 3 done. We then get a Golduck into the team, and then Ampharos, which I'm not going to add to the team. Neither am I going to add Golduck or this Poison Slowbro, the Galarian Slowbro. it is time to move on to Gen 4, the Pokemon gen I know probably the most about, and we have to fight Gardena, which poses no threat to me. Dual Wing Beat Archeops takes out all of her Pokemon with no issue at all. Gardena, give me your money. It's time to move on to Rourke. So we fought the first two gym leaders of Gen 4 so far, and I'm going to proceed to take out Probopass with ease, as I mean, Earthquake's going to do enough damage. Rhyperior does take out Archeops though, so I send out Swampert to liquidation the rest of Rourke's team. Now Rourke was actually stronger than Gardena, funny enough. Moving on to Maylene, who could oppose the big threat as the fighting type, but Archeops with Dual Wing Beat is just going to take out Gardena yet. And Lucario does take out Archeops, so I just send out Swampert to go in with the Earthquake and take out Lucario. Moving on to the last gym leader in Gen 4 that I need to fight, Fantina, the Ghost type gym leader, who is quite a strong gym leader as a whole. Spiritomb could have done a lot of damage to me. Luckily I've got Archeops to take it out, just about losing, and Hydreigon does come out to finish it off with Dark Pulse along with Drifblim, taking out Fantina and completing Gen 4. Moving on to Gen 5, we've got my favourite gym leader, Bryson, who don't get enough love. Now this ice type could damage my team quite a bit. Luckily Archeops does the work with Stone Edge, taking them out, getting the crits that it needs, although Cryogonal does take us out. So I send in Hydreigon with the Flamethrower to take it out. Luckily we're strong enough to do that. Next up we've got Charon. So this is technically Black and White 2 territory here. Charon gets sent out, and I'm going to go in for some Stone Edges and some Earthquakes to take out Stoutland to start off. Bouffalant does come out with the Throat Chop, and I can't really do too much to it as it already got me below half health. I send Swampert out to do some big boy damage, take it out with Liquidation, and Chinchino comes out with Bullet Seed. And then Triple Axle on the Hydreigon, which did terrify me. Luckily we took it out and defeated Charon. It's time to move on to Eliza, the electric type, that sends out Electros, one of my favourite Pokemon of all time. So I'm sorry that I have to take you out. Emolga gets one shot as well, and Zebstrika also with the Earthquake, and that is Gen 5. Moving on to Chili, which was so random, it could have been any of the trios, and they sent out the weakest one to me. I'm just going to Earthquake and Dual Wing Beat his entire team until they die. Simisid died to Dual Wing Beat, and Gen 5 is complete. Moving on to Gen 6. Another gen where I'm not too confident on, but I do know most of them. So Valerie, the Fairy type. What can I do against Valerie, Stone Edge and Dual Wing Beat to take everything in the world out? Archeops does get damaged, although the Citrus Berry brings me straight back up to health, and Stone Edge the Sylveon weakening it even more, but it does take me out with Moonblast. So I send out Swampert as I want to keep Hydreigon alive just a little bit longer. And I haven't really encountered any other challenges other than Claire and Faulkner, because Faulkner actually defeated me once. Almost forgot about that. Mawile comes out and I take Mawile out. Moving on to the next, we've got Ramos, the grass type gym leader, which I'm just going to proceed to Dual Wing Beat and Stone Edge its entire team to death with Archeops. Archeops is a broken Pokemon, guys. I see why it's got an ability like that to weaken it. That's why Archeops is still in my team the entire time. Ramos, give me your money, old man. And it's time to move on to Karina, the fighting type gym leader, which it would have been better if it had Mega, although they haven't added Megas into this game. So I'm just going to Dual Wing Beat and take out all of the Pokemon until Lucario Meteor mashes me, and Swampert comes out taking Lucario out. Hawlucha does come out, and that does pose a little bit of threat to me, so I'm just going to go in for the Rock Slide and then Liquidation Hawlucha to death, as Liquidation gets that big boy stab bonus. Give me your money, Karina. It's time to move on to Grant, the rock type of the Kalos region. sending out Carbink, which did surprise me. He could have had a much stronger rock type Pokemon, so I don't really get it, but Carbink comes out and dies to Archeops. Then Aurorus comes out. Stone Edge does do a lot and would have demolished it if I was over half HP. Swampert comes out to finish off Aurorus, and Tyrantrum comes to finish me off. Can he defeat me? I highly doubt it. I've got a big boy Swampert with Liquidation killing it today. He stood no chance against me, and it's time to move on to Gen 7. Another gen I do know quite a bit about. I did enjoy the Sun and Moon games, although I think they should have kept the gym leaders and not trial leaders. So we have to fight the electric type Sophagus or something like that. I just take his entire team out with Earthquake until Golem comes out and takes out Archeops. I then send in Hydreigon, as he don't really get any playtime anymore because Swampert and Archeops seems to be doing all the damage. We then have to fight the grass type Mallow, the grass type Trial, which I'm just going to proceed to dual wing beat all of her Pokemon to death. They stood no chance against Archeops. Ducidai, Shallows and Lunatris all die to one hit. No fear in my eyes. I tackle anything head on. We then need to fight the ghost type Archeolos, I can never pronounce her name, sending out Palosam. I'm going to go in for some Earthquakes, weaken it just a little. I don't really know how much of a chance we stand against her. She is quite a strong gym leader, let's just say ghost type gym leader. I then get dual wing beat off on the Mimikyu after taking out Delmise, which really surprised me. Archeops soloed her team. Moving on to the fairy type Mina, who did have quite a strong team in the game. That was mainly to do with Ribombee using Quiver Dance, and I think I actually lost to her in the Sun and Moon games, only once or twice, but I did lose to her, which says a lot because I don't normally lose to gym leaders. She then sends out Ninetales, which is quite a nice Pokemon to see in this game. I didn't know they had all of the regional variants, I just thought they had some of them. So Ninetales comes out and dies, and Ribombee, the same thing applies to. I'm going to go in for Stone Edge and take it out. Moving on to the big boy Gen 8. See what we can do against Gen 8. We now have Nessa, the water type gym leader from Gen 8. Gen 8 is a very strong gen and could do a lot of damage to us, especially Nessa, the water type, taking out Archeops instantly. I'm going to go into Swampert, as Swampert could tank a little bit more than Hydreigon, taking out Inteleon. Now Barraskewda comes out. I don't really know what to do. Luckily he flip turns and Liquidation is neutral against Dreadnought. I do take Dreadnought out with the Earthquake, and Barraskewda comes back out. I go in for a Liquidation, although he kills me first, and it's time for Hydreigon to come out. Close combat almost takes me out. Luckily he weakened his defense enough to Dark Pulse, killed it. Moving on to Opal, the fairy type. We've just fought 3 fairy types in a row from Gen 5 to 8, I believe, no, from Gen 6 to 8, so yeah, 2 in a row. I hate fairy types, they just do too much damage and they're too bulky at the same time. Fairy type is a very strong typing. I do manage to take Weezing out, luckily. Moving on to Alcremie, I'm going to go for the dual wing beat, and Energy Ball almost takes me out, although I do manage to take Alcremie out. Togekiss comes out and Stone Edge leaves it on 1 HP. I'm going to send out Swampert to finish off, although that Serene Grace does make me flinch once or twice. Opal is gone. Moving on to the next one, we have Gordy, who is a rock type, and I never actually fought him in the Sword and Shield games because I believe I had Shield and he wasn't in Shield. It's either that or I had Sword and he wasn't in Sword. So Stonejourner does take out Archeops, so I send Swampert straight out to take him out with Liquidation. He then sends out Barbacle, which did do quite a bit of damage, although I do tend to send out Hydreigon here and take him out with a Draco Meteor. Hydreigon does clean up quite a lot with Draco Meteor, giving me that big boy luck. Moving on to Pierce, who was in one of my previous videos as an evil villain, which he's not really an evil villain, guys. We know that. We all know that on this channel. Thievul comes out and gets taken out. Skunk Tank gets taken out by an Earthquake. Archeops are you going to sweep through this team as well? Dual Wing Beat weakens it enough. Knockoff comes out and I Earthquake of Stagoon to death. Taking out Piers and moving on. Moving on to what? There's no Gen 9 in this game, but there is some evil bosses that want to take on me. They want to take me on. Well, they didn't actually want to take me on. They just want to take over the whole utility of this place and control it as their own evil villain base. So I go and buy some items. Assault Vest and a Focus Sash. Assault Vest for Swampert and Focus Sash for Hydreigon. So we have to fight Rose. Starting with Gen 8, sending out Ferrothorn. He's quite a big opponent for me to fight, so he takes out my Archeops straight away. So I'm going to send out Hydreigon to go in for the big boy flamethrowers and take the rest of his team out. Berserker gets one shot. Moving on to the next bad guy, Guzma from Gen 7. It looks like we're counting down here. Counting down from 8 to 1. And our final boss is going to be Giovanni. Guzma comes out, sending out Masquerine, the bug type. I'm going to proceed to take it out with Swampert. And Galissapod comes out, gets off a Swords Dance, but I know it's got Emergency Switch, which allows me to tackle it, or get rid of it, half of its health, and make it switch out. We take out Vikavolt and then take Galissapod out. Moving on to Gen 7, Lysander, who was probably the easiest evil villain in the world to take out. Dual Wing Beat on that. Pyro comes out. I'm going for the Earthquake and take that out. Moving on to Gyarados, where I'm just going to do a Stone Edge. Thrush does nothing and I Stone Edge Gyarados to death. That took literal seconds. Genesect, the biggest fear of fighting, because I have a lot of respect and I know Genesect, Jetsis is the strongest villain in my opinion. So Croforigus comes out, which did give me a lot of pain in the Black and White games. So Croforigus comes out, I switch my ability to Mummy, allowing me to keep my full damage at half health. Bishop comes out and Earthquake does half its health, giving me the ability to take it out with Swampert. He almost hits the Guillotine, and that blew my mind, the fact that he had Guillotine. So Hydreigon comes out, uses Hyper Beam, wastes its life. Jetsis, you're not at the strength you used to be. It's time to move on to the other half of the bad gym leaders, starting with Cyrus, who is the second strongest bad guy in my opinion by far. Gen 4 and Gen 5 definitely had the hardest games to beat, but that's just my opinion. I've not played the Gen 3 ones and I know they was pretty hard too. So I'm going to save my opinion until I actually fight Emerald Kaizo, which is a possibility for me to do on this channel, guys. Emerald Kaizo and Radical Red might be coming up. So Cyrus didn't really stand too much of a chance against Hydreigon, and we take his entire team out. Moving on to Archie. Archie, what can you do? Can you defeat me? I don't think you can. Dual Wing Beat takes out Sharpedo instantly, luckily. And Relicanth comes out. I don't really do too much to Relicanth and he takes me out. I'm going to send Swampert in because that's the only Pokemon that I think can deal with it. Hammerarm taking Relicanth out. Lowering my speed didn't really bother me. I then go for the Earthquake against Muck, taking Muck out with complete ease. Moving on to Maxie. Maxie could have had a Groudon. If they added that, this would have been a much funner battle for me, although it would have made it quite hard because I am playing on the hard difficulty. Camerupt comes out. I'm going to take it out with an Earthquake. Archeops proceeds to demolish Mightyena with an Earthquake too, leaving me only with Giovanni left, guys. What are we going to do against Giovanni? I'm going to try and tackle it, see if I can take it out, starting with Nidoqueen. I'm going to go in for an Earthquake, doing a lot of damage. It then growls and switches out into Kangaskhan, so I'm going to switch into Swampert. Swampert's really going to be my best bet here to take out Kangaskhan with Liquidation. Liquidation comes out, taking out Kangaskhan. I'm going to proceed to take Nidoqueen out. Does he have Mewtwo? No, he has Honchkrow. So I'm going to take out Giovanni, the evil Team Rocket leader, with a Stone Edge. and it's time to see what else we can do, guys. So technically we have beaten the game, but there is an elite bracket which we would need 6 Pokemon and no longer 3. If you guys do want to see that, please make sure to leave a like. If this video gets to 30 likes, I will do a part 2, or day 100 to day 200, and see how far we can get. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and join my Discord, which is in the description of this video. Thank you guys for coming out, and enjoy the rest of your day.